What are you here for, man?
Okay, so I am like around 2.3, 2.4k,
Okay.
and I'm trying to climb basically.
Okay. How long you been playing
And
Dota?
I think I started like late 2016.
Okay.
Like
So about a
I
year and a
actually,
half ish,
yeah,
2 years.
calibrated like 700-ish MMR.
Okay, so you've been climbing pretty consistently, and you're
Yeah,
still relatively newer to Dota. So,
yeah.
in relative, go ahead.
So generally, I think like what I want to improve on right now is because I feel like my laning's okay. Like I'm able to like be aggressive when I need to, and I end up with like maybe 3 or 4 kills and usually 0 deaths. But I feel like I can't ever take the advantage that I gain during the lane and actually like make a difference in the mid game.
Okay.
Like I'll try and go gank or something, and it'll just like I'll either die or I'll fail the gank and I'll come back and the enemy mid's gotten ahead or something.
Okay. So generally, at your bracket, to be frank, there's usually so much wrong that I can grill you from the very get go.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
no,
think
like
my goal today, to be honest, just to make sure I get to the part that you specifically requested as best as I can, is I'm going to mention mechanics that you need to use, and I'm going to try to spend as little time as possible, talking any further about those mechanics. Meaning, like,
no, I mean
you know,
if you find something that you think is going to make more of a difference than what I said, then like I'm happy to for you
I
to
got
talk
you.
about that instead.
What role are you playing?
Usually mid,
Okay.
like if I
And
don't get mid,
what
I pick up top.
hero replays are we watching today?
So I have an SF1 and a QOP one, and maybe a second QOP one, but I don't know if I have
Okay.
time for that. So
Then let's get the ball rolling and see where it takes us.
I'll send
Uh,
you this one
yep.
first.
I'll go ahead and share screen so I don't have to be reminded of my failures.
Sure.
And then you can see.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Cool. Where are you from, by the way?
From Australia.
Oh, okay, yeah, it sounded different. I was just curious.
Yeah.
There it is. So who are you here? You said SF. Okay.
Yeah, Shadowfiend.
And you're against sniper or DK?
DK.
Okay. Offlane sniper or something?
I can't remember.
Okay. Now you see all kinds of shit, so
Yeah.
in 2K.
I thought I'd be against the sniper, to be honest.
So I don't I never assume. You know, people may say
Yeah.
BSJ, it's obviously sniper mid. It's like trust me. Okay. Starting items are fine. Let's watch your mechanics for blocking. Did you miss the block? Let's see if it's mechanics or
Yeah,
just
no,
a slip
I
up.
fucked it up.
The battle begins.
Okay. You have camera locked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only started doing that recently.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you were there for when I did it. Based on this, I highly recommend you go into private lobbies and you block mid until you can do it 90% of the time correctly.
Okay.
That's what I did. I actually lost my mid lane like 30% of the time because I messed up the block. And if anybody was there for that, I did like 3-4 hours of mid lane blocking. And it's like, it sounds lame, but like, how much time am I wasting if I lose my lane because of a block?
No, like, yeah, it makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I was like. I'm like, shit, man, this is fucking lame if I just lose my lane because of this. Okay.
Good point.
So, okay.
I actually miss a lot of last hits in the replays you're gonna see.
That's fine. I mean, it's expected,
It's like,
to be frank with you. Okay, you're using creep aggro at least. I don't know if it's intentional, though.
I've started doing that recently, but I'm not too good at it yet.
Okay. So my only comment is you're using creep aggro, so it's clear. When you're... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I'm trying to use it to make them like miss CS sometimes and just like reposition the creeps to. Like,
No. So you're using creep aggro, and so I'm literally just giving you the next step that I can give you. I can't give you any further than this.
Yeah.
So I see they're using creep aggro. The thing you have to consider is the understanding of how long it takes the creep to get to you, and when it's going to be in tower range, because you're dragging a lot of creeps into tower range, which is actually fine, but you actually need to specifically time it based on tower damage. So that's what you need to be paying attention to. I can't coach you any further than that, but what I'm saying is, like, if I rewind just to show you what I mean so you can figure it out for yourself,
Sure.
is, let's rewind it here. This creep was good for instance, that, but I don't think that's purposeful. This one, on the other hand, so you have to know, like right now, this is an understand. I'm just going to give you a very in-depth understanding so you can apply it on your own time.
Okay.
250. How much damage does a range creep do, by the way? Let's find out.
I'm not sure.
It does 30.
Okay.
That's what they do. So range creeps have 23, but they do piercing. So it's 35 is what range creeps actually do. Okay? So this is an advanced understanding of what I'm about to show you. So let me rewind it just to show you. So this creep's not getting hit at all, so we don't care about damage from creeps. This one, okay?
Yeah.
It's at 395 when it starts going under tower. It's going to be hit by the tower 3 times, okay? Towers hit for about 100, okay? On average, about 100. It's 100 to 120, so it averages to 110, which with armor is about 100, okay? So it's going to be hit by your range creep at least 3 times. So probably 4. So if it's going to be hit by your range creep at least 3, maybe 4 times, if you do nothing, it's going to die to your range creep plus tower hits.
Right.
Okay? That's how I look at this. It's like an understanding thing. Like a really good mid laner, they'd see this, and they'd hit the creep once. Because then it'll set up for you to hit it later. Because if you hit it now, the range creep will hit it 3 times. So you hitting it now will bring it down to like 340, 350, 345. Then the range creep will effectively bring it down to 220 because it hits it 4 times. And then the tower will bring it down to 20. And then you kill it. Are you following me on my math?
I know what you mean. But
Okay.
I don't know how.
You don't need to know the
like,
exact
do
numbers.
that.
Okay. My point, though, is my understanding of creeps under tower. I know I would hit this once. It would take 2 tower shots, maybe 3 to 4 range creep hits, and then I would kill it with my next attack.
Okay.
That's how you have to think about creeps going underneath your tower. And that's not even counting this melee creep hitting it.
Right.
So, like, it's something you have to get a feel for. You know, it was proper, by the way, for you to drag this creep underneath your tower. But now, your next step, I'm giving you the next step, is what I'm trying to do. Okay? And that's how much thinking it takes. But once you get it down, it's, like, really easy. I know that sounds really complicated, but you start to eyeball it, and you just know. Like, actually, it's just rinse and repeat. Once you start thinking about it, you're going to get really stressed out, because you're like, shit. And you're going to miss, like, 80% of them, okay? And then suddenly, you're going to miss 70% of them. And then suddenly, 40%. And then...
Right, I just gotta pay attention.
And then eventually, it's like autopilot. You just know when you drag the creep exactly how it's going to die and stuff. I'm just saying that type of calculation, see, like, how you didn't hit it, but if you had hit it, I'm just going to show you what I mean.
Yeah.
If you had hit it once, so let's say it's already been hit by you once, right here would have been last hittable. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's just one. That's the next step for you on your trek to getting better at creep aggro.
Okay.
Okay, that's one step. Like creep aggro changes the way creeps die. One of the ways it changes them is that they go under tower. So I'm giving you the under tower example. You can also make it so that it, like right here, would have been creep aggro. You get all of them, but it would have been good to use creep aggro just to make it so DK is one less factor to influence you hitting the creep. Okay, creep aggro. You do. I mean, you creep aggro more than my 4K guy I had today. Okay. You creep aggroed, pulled him out of position. That was good. I would have double raised him for sure, though.
I just wasn't sure if I could kill him.
It's not to kill him. It's just the double raise is obviously more damage.
Right. It's just he has a lot of regen, so if I get a lot of damage on him and don't kill him, it's like...
So we're going to give you a simpler version of what I just told you. Very quickly. CS on under tower. This is going to be very rapid. Towers hit, shots do about 100, okay? 380.
Yeah.
76.
Okay, so I hit him once at that point.
Yes.
Is what you're saying?
Hit it once, and then you hit it again. See that?
Yeah.
But if you leave it, the tower's going to deal enough damage because it had 380, right?
Yeah, and I can't last hit him.
And you don't do 80. You do less than 80. So the tower's going to kill it because it does 100, But in this case, it's 95 because there is tower damage variance. And you don't do enough. See? So, the way I look at it is, around 300 I look at it. 350? 350 is about 60 damage for you. And that's just because of armor and damage variance on towers. So you look at the creep when it's at, like, you're gauging it when it's between 300 and 400, okay? And that's going to be 3 tower shots. If it's 350 and your hero hits for 60, you don't have to hit it.
Okay.
But if your hero hits for 59, you have to hit it. But, like, there is variance. But if you hit it, you're more likely to get it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's not going to work every time, because there's damage variance between you and the tower, right? Like, both have damage variance. So what happens is, that's why you'll see when a creep has 360, and a melee carry hits for 60 with a Quelling Blade, which is 84, they know that 84 might not quite be enough, but they know if they drop their Quelling Blade and hit it for 60, that won't be near enough. So they drop their Quelling Blade, hit it once, and then hit it again. You see that? Like, how you can... That's why some mid laners will drop their Wraith Band and shit. Like, that's very...
I'd have never thought of that.
No, I'm just giving you... So think about it from 350, 60 is the base. And if you're 60 or more, you don't have to hit it. If you're less than 60, you hit it. Okay? So right there, it was 380, and you had less... I mean, if you want to simplify it even more so for the start, if it's 380 and you do less than 80, you better fucking hit it. Okay? Because that's not even counting armor, right? Because melee creeps have 2 armor, which is, what is it, 9%? Yeah, 9% physical resistance. Okay. So, just helping you out a little bit there, that would have gotten you that CS. Moving on. Okay. Yeah, your laning's definitely fine. Like all the stuff that you need to get better at, it's not because you're not doing it. You just need to get better at it. So, I'm not gonna talk any further about that. Okay, nice. That was good.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Good items.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think I missed the kill on him here. Yeah.
That's fine. I don't care about mechanical misplays. That doesn't teach you anything for me to talk about it. Oh, nice regen. Otherwise, I hope you would have shrined. Like if you hadn't gotten the regen. Okay, you're pressuring pretty well. You just sent him back to base. Okay, you're hitting the creeps, that's fine. Okay. So this is a spot where you need to understand aggression. And this is what aggression means, okay? It's this in a vacuum. And I know, like, what I mean by the... Okay, I'll just explain this. What I mean by aggression is the times to be aggressive, ask yourself, you walk here, what's the guy gonna do?
Probably nothing. I think he's really low here.
What can he do? He is very low, you just made him low.
Probably, like, nuke me and leave. He can't stay close to me.
Can he nuke the creeps?
Not sure.
Okay, if you walk to here, and he tries to nuke the creeps, he has to be about right here.
I'll just kill him.
Okay, so his choice is to nuke you or walk away. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see how being here is way different than where you are?
Yes.
And what he's able to do? Right? Because he's literally just able to nuke your creeps. And what is this preventing, right? It's preventing you from pushing his tower. So, this is just a spot where I just look at aggression and say, if I walk up that hill, what he's going to do about it? And the answer is nothing. And if the answer is nothing, if you ask yourself there's something more aggressive you can do, and there's nothing they can do about it, or you're prepared for all things they can do about it, or you think you've thought about all things they can do about it, then you do it, right? Like, that's how it works. Sometimes that'll be affected by who's missing. Sometimes that'll be affected by like specific item timing, specific level of you and the other guy, like all that kind of stuff. But I feel like he definitely should have taken a lot of tower damage right there. I think you could have ran your creeps, like you could have protected your creeps. If he chose to stay, the minute he fire breaths, you fort, and then you walk at him. Like, what's he gonna fucking do, actually? Like, actually. You probably triple raise him and die, and you kill him, because you're faster move speed than he is. Okay. You definitely need to fly yourself, like, a salve, is what I would say. You can't be content with the health you have. Your items in terms of raindrops were good. And I think this rotation is good. Okay. So what's better than TPing base there, and why?
I don't remember how low I was. Can you... Shrine, I guess?
It's Shrine, yes. But why is it important that you go to Shrine immediately?
It'll just take me less time to get back onto lane.
But why is that less time important here? When you leave mid lane, what should always be one of your highest priorities anywhere you go?
If my tower's being pressured?
Yeah, right? So it matters how quickly you have to get back, right?
Right.
Like, he's about to push your tower, right? He's going to have it with this creep wave. So you have to be at this tower by the time this creep wave gets to your tower. You see what I'm saying? So, like, if the lane was here and it was like a lion soaking XP, it's fine if you TP base. But if I would still TP Shrine personally, but I'm saying that, like, you have time if you want to TP base. But when the lane looks like this, which I asked you what is your main priority when you leave the lane, you knew what it was, so that's the hardest part, honestly, is knowing what your priority was. So, like, I looked at your player perspective, right? I asked you what your priority was. Does that proven to me by your player perspective after these kills?
Not really.
You didn't prove that to me at all, right? Like, you would prove that to me if you put your mouse over mid.
If I was actually checking.
You can tell so much about what your priorities are supposed to be if you watch a good player do a very similar move to what you did, and then what they immediately check after. Like, where their mouse cursor goes on the map. If they check a hero's health, that means they're scared of that hero. If they check, or like a hero's status, meaning like if they say they have a TP or something. If they check a specific lane. If they check a shrine, like where they wanted to go next. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of time to learn from somebody is when they get a kill like that, and then they immediately disperse where they go. So notice the difference here. Before it even happens, I told you what was going to happen, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, it's just a matter of understanding. Like, you knew it was your obligation.
Dominating performance.
So at this point, you're trying to farm your Shadow Blade. Are you pushing this tower?
Not against DK, I don't think.
Okay, so you're fortunate enough to get another regen rune. Let's act like you don't get this regen rune. Where's the safest farm on the map?
Jungle, I assume.
Which jungle?
Top, I
No.
think.
Try again.
No.
It's this one.
Really?
Always the safest. Almost always. Unless this tower is dead, this is always the safest.
Okay.
It's just how it is. Unless this tower is dead. Like, there will be games where the opponents are always playing here for whatever reason. Like, there are exceptions. But the rule is this is the safest farm on the map. Okay? So, with that in mind, not only that, but it's also the most efficient. Why?
Because you can, like, triple stack and...
You can, like, triple stack, and you can hit all the creeps from within, like, a 400 radius. Like, you can, like, if you go, like, here, here, and here, you can, like, hit all creeps. You know what I mean? Like, you can reach all the camps. So this is definitely the most efficient farm. So my question for you is, are you in chill and farm mode, or are you in pressure mode?
Right now?
Yeah.
Unless I get a really good rune, I'm not going to try and pressure until I get a...
So you're in chill and farm mode, right?
Yeah.
So what should you do with this wave? Are you contesting DK?
No.
What are you trying to prevent him from doing?
Pushing my tower.
What does he kind of need to do that?
The creep wave.
Okay, so what do you have to do? What is your obligation to mid lane right now?
Just nuke the creep wave.
Just nuke the creep wave, okay?
Wave? Like,
Yes, exactly. Like, you shouldn't do any of this crap. Like, just literally double nuke this wave and walk away.
Right.
Like, you're hitting him, you're denying. Like, I literally double nuke this creep wave and walk away. Why is it so important that you double nuke that creep wave and walk away? Look at what you're late for right now.
Runes.
Runes, right? You'd be at the rune at the 12-minute mark rather than 12:07. If you're there at the 12-minute mark, how many times are the enemy team going to get the rune?
0.
They're going to have to be there right at the 12-minute mark killing you. But if you have 12, like, that 1 second of them being there is way less than 8 seconds, right? That's way less. So these are little window things you have to think about.
If it wasn't a DK, would I try and pressure the tower instead of doing what you said?
It's matchup dependent. You just have to know those are the two options, right? You're chilling and farming, or you're pressuring the tower. It's like it's just matchup dependent. There's really no answer I can give you on that one. You just have to understand like the positives and negatives of trying to pressure the tower, and what the positives and negatives of getting the Shadow Blade are. I feel like once you get the Shadow Blade, you'll just rotate to some lane, kill somebody, and get the tower. That's how I feel, right? So, like, I'm just waiting for this Shadow Blade personally. I think it's a travesty that you actually get this regen rune. Why?
What do you mean?
Shouldn't you be at bottom rune? Why?
To farm the jungle.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be at this top rune.
I shouldn't be.
You should have just gotten unlucky and been at bottom rune. You should have cleared this wave, been here at 12 minutes, killed this one camp, and been back here at 12:15. Why is it so important you're back here at 12:15?
So the tower doesn't get pushed in again.
Yeah, because that's when the creep waves meet each other, right? So, do you see how these little 2 seconds of pause of you waiting on these creeps and shit is a huge deal?
Yeah.
Because that would normally be, you'd be at this rune at 12:05, and then you just have to walk back to mid, right? And maybe you don't even have time to shrine. Maybe you don't even have time. Maybe you just shrine. You actually go to shrine 100% if you go bottom, right? You see this no rune, you shrine. While you're shrining, you kill this camp, and then you walk back mid. And your 5 seconds is like 400 damage on this tower that you saw when you TP'd base instead of shrine. So these are all little things that just add up. And if I had TP'd shrine instead of base, bottom, I would have probably walked top simply because with your health and mana, I would need this shrine to then defend mid, right? So, like, if this shrine was used and this wasn't, I would actually choose these for the obvious reason of I need the shrine, right? Just giving you things that you can consider in your decision making. So you clear this very fast. Okay, your Rubik's actually looking to rotate, and your Ursa's roaching. I'm fine with you sticking near mid now, actually. This is very weird.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Roshan has fallen to the ground.
So I don't like this rotation. Can you name a couple reasons why?
I think I was a bit late on it. But also the things you just mentioned, that the Rubik was still in my lane and Ursa was roaching. So
Ursa's roaching, Rubik's still in your lane, and what about this?
problem. Yeah, I'm about to get Shadow Blade.
Yeah, you're like really close to an item, right? So let's just like take a chill pill, you know? Nuke the wave twice, stay mid, maybe go top, maybe go this way simply because Ursa's roaching, so you're closer to this. Kill a couple creeps, expend all of your mana to kill neutrals, TP base, get your Shadow Blade, kill somebody. Okay, that's like the logical progression I would see here. This looks really forced to me.
Yeah, I just got the sense that Sky was getting dived, so
I got you. I mean, I see that you're responding to dives. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like it's wrong. You know, it's like for all the reasons we mentioned. I just feel like if you die there, your game is actually ruined. Is how or in the words of Stewie Griffin, ruined. You know, so I just feel like you know what I'm saying though, right? Is like imagine how bad your game would be suddenly if you died there.
right.
And those are the kind of plays I try to avoid, especially in pubs. So you have a Shadow Blade. So this is like the tower that the kills you got, I feel like, would naturally lead to. Instead, you took them without the Shadow Blade, is kind of how I look at it. So I hate this TP. Why do I hate this TP?
Because my mid tower's being pressured.
Your mid tower is being pressured, and what about bottom? What do you represent bottom that nobody else on your team represents?
Is under attack.
Solo kill potential, I guess. Like,
I think your Skywrath mage can kill people. What do you do that nobody else does?
Who else is bot? Push towers, I guess.
Yeah, you're the only one on your team that ever hits buildings, right? So the minute you TP out of bottom and into the dead lane area, how many towers of the opponent are being threatened?
None of them.
0. If you're bottom, how many towers are being threatened?
That one bot.
What about this one?
Why
If
would
you're
you-
off map, couldn't you be rotating here?
I guess so.
Right? So, it's just one of those things where if anybody's going top, it sure as hell ain't you.
Right.
If you're going top, it would be because somebody else like Rubik says, hey, they're going to the bounty runes, I'm setting up, and then you TP after him. At the very minimum, you should kill this creep wave. Right? At the very minimum. So this is just a really rush TP. Let's see what you do with it, though.
Yeah.
So that order of TPs should have been reversed. For sure. So obviously just mechanics thing, that's fine, not going to talk about it. But just look at bottom lane. It'd just be at their tier 2 instead. And then, like... I don't know how to explain it. You literally just missed a creep wave, is what I'm saying. If you see what I'm saying, the overall impact of your decision was... I didn't mind what happened because Rubik TP top as well. But if Rubik hadn't TP top, I feel like that would have been a waste. And you just missed a creep wave bottom. I hope you see that. That's all that happened, is you missed a creep wave bottom. Okay. Okay. Get out. That's good. That bounty rune is still there somehow. Farming your way back to base. No, you're not. This is not good. Rinse and repeat, man. Really important. The whole idea of rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Are you ready to repeat?
No.
No. So, I thought you were going to kill these creeps and then base.
And then just go back. I considered it.
Your two options are to kill those creeps in base, or fly yourself a Tango, or fly yourself a Salve and a Clarity, or TP to the shrine. Either way, you do not walk at this mid tower looking like this. You just don't. It's not acceptable. That's how I look at it. It's just not okay. If you're saying to yourself that I should be able to take this mid tower, and I need health and mana, what's the solution? I already said it.
Either go base or send myself stuff.
No, but you needed to be there immediately, is what I'm saying.
Immediately.
So you needed to fly yourself stuff, is what I'm saying. So, like, this is how the decision making works, right? You seem pretty good for a 2K player, so I'm gonna give you relatively more stuff here.
Yeah.
So you kill this guy. We talk about the rinse and repeat process, okay? So the idea of it is meaning, like, what am I doing next? That's, like, the question you have to ask yourself. So let's look at the map. And this is something that I'm telling you this not to condescend, but to give you an idea of where you should aim to be. Best players in the world will have this decision in 2 seconds, okay? So, where are we going next? What are you thinking?
I'd say mid.
Okay. Is it like a push? Is it a gank? What are we doing?
I think it's a push.
Okay, because your Ursa's dead, you have no Shadow Blade, you have no ult, I mean, it's just a push. So, what are our options to get there?
Either walk there or, I guess, TP.
TP mid, TP shrine bottom. Do we want to go without Ursa?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either. So how long do we have before we have to be mid?
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I could TP base, I guess.
So your two options, or multiple options, I'm going to tell you, they could be farming through jungle, TPing bot shrine, and farming there while waiting for your Ursa. I don't think that's bad. It'll take you somewhere around 20 seconds to kill all 3 of these camps, if you kill Ancients too, right? So 20, 30 seconds, depending on what the Ancient camp is. So it's like, if you TP there, you're shrining up. The shrine probably won't be enough, so you fly yourself a couple clarities in this Ogre Club, and you chill there until your Ursa gets alive. Or you just walk through your jungle, clear it out. When might this be better than this?
I wouldn't be able to say.
What if your offlaner was farming here?
Right, I guess. So just take
So what did I say is the safest, most optimal farm on the map?
the bottom one.
Bottom here, right? So when is the only time you're not going to take that farm?
Someone else is taking it.
When somebody else is taking it. So in this case, I actually think your best option when I look at this would be to TP to your own shrine and shrine up, fly yourself some clarities, and be ready to go again. But you'd be farming these. And then, worst case scenario, if your Ursa doesn't want to go mid, you farm them again. Right?
Okay.
Like, you just hit it, like, because it's 17 minutes, you'll farm them again. Right? So that's what I'm pointing out, is it's not acceptable that you go to the next objective not full.
Right.
There's no in-betweens, you know? Have the discipline to say, I'm not doing shit with half mana, or half health and no mana. There's no way this goes well, right? Like, there's just no way. You're the most powerful hero in the game,
Dire's middle tower is
and
Dire's middle tower has
you just have no health and mana. So basically, I feel like you're always trying to do stuff rather than kill creeps. And it shows in CS. Like, you can tell it's a 2K game, just to be frank. Like, highest CS in the game is 100 at 18 minutes. So this is an example of the bottom lane, where you should have killed that entire creep wave. This was an example where you should have TP'd Shrine, killed these 3 camps, maybe killed them again, then pushed out bottom, then go mid. We want all of our lanes pushed before we go mid, I think. Like, right. Instead, your Ursa's pushing bottom while you push mid if you rewind. Your Ursa was pushing out bottom. So you walk through mid without your Ursa, with half health and no mana. Like, let's just register that, you know what I mean? Let's just think about how that sounds. Rather than farm, push, kill as a group, you know? Like, it just sounds so much cleaner, you know? And a lot of times when you do things cleaner, there's also more CS to be had when you do that. You get another kill. I don't like the TB to the dead lane, but you get a kill. And the problem with making plays around here is what?
You mean around that area?
Yeah. Why would Dire ever want to play around top?
Just to defend the 2-1.
Okay, or?
Like, that's the only one I can think of. Yeah.
Or a major objective that is on the top half of the map.
Roshan.
Okay, are either of those relevant here?
No.
Ursa already took Roche.
Tier 1 is in...
Tier 1's not under threat?
Yeah, it's not in threat.
And Ursa and Roche isn't alive. So, let's think about this. If our only reason to play top is to defend the tier 1 or take Roche, and Roche is already taken, where should we go on the map?
Just anywhere else, but...
Okay, should we walk there or TP there?
I can't tell.
What is the only place on the map you might have to be? Top lane. How are you going to get there if you TP bottom?
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
So do you walk bottom or do you TP bottom?
So walk there and save the TP.
Yeah, so you're literally thinking to yourself, are you... Okay, let's be frank again, sorry. Let's be clear again. You just got this kill on Pangolier at what, 16? When was it?
You mean the first one or the one that happened just before?
No, the first one. You get this kill on Pangolier.
Yeah.
What mode are you in again? Look at your items.
So I'm looking to like gank basically, I guess. I'm not really farming for all the way to BKB.
Why not?
Oh wait, no, I just spent my ult.
You just had to use your ult.
Yeah, true.
And there's no Roche. So is there any important objectives for you right now? It's going to be mid-tier 1, right?
Yeah.
Like, that is going to be your objective. But does it have to be right now?
No, I think we can take that pretty easily.
Yeah,
Okay,
and what makes it even easier to take mid? If this lane's pushed out, right?
Yeah, the other... Yeah.
If this lane specifically. So then at this point, I'd be playing bottom half of the map, ready to go top. But if I just walk here, is that efficient?
No.
No, so I push this lane out. Pressure's not going to be there for a pretty long time, right? Like, they're going to take a while to get back to this tower. I'm going to TP here, hit a bunch of creeps, push out bottom, and then play accordingly, right? Like, but notice how smooth that feels. And it shows in your CS, this idea. It shows in your CS. Right. Like, you just have way more CS. Just too much random grouping. Go kill people, then get your BKB, you know? Have that on-off switch. Be ready to go back and forth. Like, you have a shrine again bottom. Stop going base. What is happening? When you think about it, you know? Why are you basing? Then why are you TPing? Ugh. Okay. It's like, these kills don't do anything. Do you end up winning this game?
No.
No. No surprise here. Okay.
Yeah, the ones I'm sending, you're all losses.
Cool. So we're going to end the game probably about right here. Because that's probably the game-losing play right there.
Yeah.
Playing around top, getting a kill, having it do what? What did that kill on Pangolier accomplish in 19 minutes?
Nothing really.
Literally nothing. Okay. Then you played around top. Then you took a fight mid when you're 1,000 gold off BKB, and then you die, and then they have superior late game, and you lose.
Yep.
Good stuff. That's about it. You understand the dead lane? Have you seen my videos? Have you heard me talk about it or no?
I know kind of what it is. I wouldn't say I understand it in depth. I'll probably have to watch the videos again.
You willingly signed up for this session, which cost you $75. So
Yeah,
I'm
willing to.
I'm gonna send you the Game Leap link for the dead lane video that costs $5 to be a part of. So, let's see here. Dota courses. Let's just pull it up here. I'll just send you the simulation course because you can watch any and all of it about creep aggro. It's the reason why it's called the coaching simulation course because it's all the stuff I've taught people in coaching sessions. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to your next game.
Okay, sure.
Do you have the replay?
Cool. Yeah, I'm sending it now. Just making sure it's the right one. This is a Queen of Pain game.
Okay. Maybe because they're Aussie games, they take this long to load. You're the only person who they've taken this long to load for. Interesting. Maybe it's because they're Aussie games. Just charge 70 and force them to buy Game Leap. That's not actually a bad idea. Okay. I've been on the fence about making it a requirement to watch my entire coaching simulation course to show up for coaching, but it'd be weird. Okay, so who are you in this game? You're QOP? Okay.
Yep.
No tangos, huh? That's rough.
I usually just send them to myself with the
Okay,
first.
feels bad, man.
Should I not be doing that? Like, just buy them?
I would probably buy them instead of these two items, if anything, but I think it's really bad to go into a lane with no regen. Rewind, that was pretty rough. 0 CS.
Yeah. I feel like my CSing's gone, like, almost worse. I haven't been playing or something.
Not much to say about that, actually. That's creep aggro right there, 100%. This is a creep that like should never be in range of him. You see that? How like right here you could have aggroed it. Right here. Yeah. Okay. Here's how creep aggro works. It's reading the opponent's movements, right? You can't see him, right?
Yeah.
When are you gonna see him?
When he goes for last hit.
So when he goes for the and you know so this is how it works. This creep, don't like it here. No, it needs to move. I can't see him. When am I gonna see him? Oh, when he hits this creep. Okay, when he hits this creep, I'm ready to A-click him.
Okay.
You see that? You see that
Yeah.
train of thought here? Like right there.
And I should be in range waiting for that to happen.
Yes, exactly. That's how creep aggro works. It's like a prediction of where they're gonna be, what needs to be done, like what creeps need to be where, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So like if you're not gonna be able to creep aggro him now, you could also click another lane. I think do you know that? You can click
Yeah, like
Okay.
any hero on the map.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Do you use alt at all?
What for?
Was this a misclick or did you think the tower was aggroing this? You recall?
I don't remember. I think it was just a misclick.
Usually it's okay, so like for me okay. Do you use alt at all?
Alt for what?
Anything.
What do you mean?
The alt button.
Yeah.
What
I've
do you use
modified it to space, but
Okay, what do you use
just to,
spacebar
like,
for?
check tower ranges.
Do you use it to check tower aggro?
creep camps. Yeah.
Okay. Then this is a spot where it looks like you're clicking the creep that I would expect the tower to aggro to, is why I'm talking about it. Like that's like when I look at this, it looks like on paper it would be the other range creep. But this is a spot where right when this dies, I would be pushing alt to check and see that it's like I honestly think it should aggro this one. But based on timings of attacks or what it's attacking, it must have it chose this one. So like
Right.
you can say it's a misclick, but I possibly believe it's not a misclick, meaning like you thought it was going to aggro the other one. So just either way, you should know what creep it's aggroing. Just making sure you use that. If you use it, then so be it. Cool, cool. No more talk about it. Okay, salve up. Nice.
Dire's middle
Okay.
tower is under the last sound you ever hear.
This hurts me emotionally. Okay. So, I see that you're trying to go for this progressive buildup of Null Talisman. Why are you doing that?
Well, to be honest, I just saw some pro players doing it, and I just said, okay. It
That's
seems
fine.
like most games they're picking up
So why would you go like item like Null over Bottle? Ever.
to trade better in lane.
But it's also like a nice buildup, right? Each component's like 150 gold.
Oh,
So
right. Yeah,
you just
sure.
get stronger continuously.
Mhm.
So why do you think I'm flaming the fuck out of you that you just got a kill, you suddenly have an inburst of gold, you're going to have 650 gold, and you're missing all of your mana?
Uh,
What item should you buy?
bottle.
Yeah! You just killed the guy, you have 570 gold, you get 2 CS, you have 650, the lane's pushing in, you see the rune, the courier's returning to base, it'll be there right about the time you get there. I'm telling you 7k version, right? Like, that's how you process this. It's the same thing as when you killed the Pangolier last game. But it's in the laning stage version of it, right? It's the same thing. Killed a guy, no mana, what do I have to do next by the time he's alive? Or, like, what am I doing next? And it's like, I know I had this queued up, but suddenly, I've got 600... Yeah, suddenly I've got 650 gold, you know? So, this is a spot where it should be bottle, kill wave, rune, or like bottle gets to you, use 3 charges, rune, be full with an arcane rune, you know? I wouldn't buy circlets like that either, by the way, unless you're buying the full null. Like, unless you're using the circlet being flown out to you, or you're buying the full null, because then you've kind of committed to the null, kind of. Like there, if you had not bought the circlet, you probably could have bought like a bottle and like 2 clarities or something, or like a mango, something like that.
Yeah.
Then you have 700 gold worth of items, and you let the courier leave base. No. Okay. These are very fundamental, but it's things that cannot happen, right? Like, they just can't happen. Like, this can't... You see this? Like, see this?
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to reuse that courier 70 times, okay? That courier does not leave base without your items on it. It's that simple, okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just a bad habit, I guess.
Yeah, you have to know how important this is to you. Let's check your... Let's say... What is this? 480, I think? 225? 870. That's more than half of your net worth, sir.
Yeah.
That's more than half of your net worth, sir. Okay, moving on. Very simple thing that just like... I say courier... The courier usage is literally in my coaching simulation course, because I talk about courier usage. I'm like, it is so important that you have 800 gold of your net worth in base and you're not using it. It's very common around 2 to 3k. Sometimes like 4k players do it, but it's usually just 2 to 3k players. Once again, you're just like not... You're very content missing health and mana, even when you're winning. Put a lot of emphasis on buying regen. Like you flew yourself some clarities, and now you're buying a bottle. I just want you to watch a couple replays of mid laners and how often they're missing this much mana and health when they're winning.
Okay.
Wait for the bottle, but I'm sure
Yeah,
you
that
knew
was
that.
bad.
Yeah. Not gonna talk about that any further.
Dire's middle tower
Need to have
is
a
under
TP on you.
I'm sorry. Did you say stop?
you're doing a lot of little efficiency things. You really need a TP on you. You're really content not having the Courier fly you boots for the last 2 minutes. Yeah, that's just overly, like, it's actually your biggest problem between the last 3 games, is demanding Courier and using it when you need it. It's actually a huge problem. Like, that's probably worth 300 MMR. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. So the way I look at this kind of play, is who can kill you when you have Blink?
No one.
No one. Who can kill you when you don't have Blink?
Yeah, I shouldn't have blinked there. I realized that.
But I'm telling you, this is how you have to think about things on Slark with Pounce, PL with Doppelganger, QOP, Storm when you have mana, Jug when you have Spin. Who can kill you when you don't have it? Who can kill you when you do have it?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer is somebody that's missing, and they suddenly can kill you because you use that ability, you are not allowed to use that ability. I know you can say to me that you shouldn't have blinked there, and you understand you shouldn't have blinked there, but you have to think of Dota like that. If I think to myself, Clock can kill me if I don't have Blink, and I don't see Clock, I'm not allowed to blink. Right? Okay. It's just like that. That's how it works. Big death there. Especially because it looks like you're really... I guess you're not even having the best game on your team. You just killed the Tinker. I think all of this is because... By the way, your game's... I don't even know if I can talk about this game anymore, because you're just missing like half of your net worth, 2/3 of this game. It's like really hard to say what you could have done more. I feel like it was important that you kept pressuring the tower. That was really hard to do with no health and mana. Your bottle didn't get refilled when you died. Big mistake there. I'm sure you learned from it, though. It doesn't get refilled when it's in your backpack. I don't know if you know that. Why? What are you scared of right now?
Nothing, I guess.
Okay. So where you go?
If I'm pushing a lane, I guess I can just blink back. If I
Yeah, right? There's nothing you can't blink away from, so why... This is a spot where... Is it really inconveniencing you that much if you walk up to this creep wave and get pushed away?
Not really.
Not really, right? So why not walk up to this creep wave? If worst case scenario, you literally just have to leave, like... Whatever, right? So this is a spot where you're missing it. It's like with the SF, what stops you from walking up the hill? And you ask yourself, nothing. It's like, what stops you from just hitting that creep wave? Nothing. Every time you're thinking of a play, like aggressive, like I want you to always imagine the game of Dota from the most aggressive play possible, and work your way backwards. Meaning like, what's the most aggressive play? Can I do it? And then work your way backwards from there, and then go with the most aggressive possible play. Nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. It's fine. Please, Shrine. Just Shrine, dude. You're the mid laner. Look at these creeps. Do you just not care about creeps? Creeps! you don't use shrines nearly enough. Regen and shrines are a huge... Courier, regen, and shrines are a huge fucking issue for you. I need you to watch me, some other carry player, some other mid lane player, doesn't matter who. Please watch and pay attention to their courier usage and shrine usage. Every time you think they need the courier, look at how they handle it. Every time they're missing some health and mana, how do they handle it? Like, you're just going to base a lot. You're just, like, not using the courier a lot. It's really your biggest problem by far. And it's a massive problem. Like, it'd probably cost you 30 CS a game. It'd probably cost you 1 or 2 kill opportunities minimum. Probably cost you towers. It makes you take bad fights in that SF game. You literally took a fight mid where you had, like, no health and mana, and then you fought bottom with 200 off your BKB or some shit, you know? These are the things that are like... It's all courier and item-based, really.
Okay.
Your mechanics are actually pretty decent. Like, it's definitely not 2K level mechanics. I'm not saying you're 7K or some shit. But it's definitely items and regen related. Okay. Why did you base? There's a shrine in Bounty Rune's top!
Yeah, I think it's just, like, it's almost like a reflex. I just... like alt TP when I'm low like that, and I don't really think about shrines.
Shrines, bounty runes.
Get out of that habit.
Okay, So yeah, you need to immediately have shrines be higher alert for you. You need to have like, what am I doing next kind of thing. You should never go first item ags on QOP ever. Moving on.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Items have to change the way you play the game, unless you are the hardest scaling hero in the game. So, does that concept make sense or no?
Kind of.
If you do not scale the hardest in the game, you are kind of on a timer to make something happen. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So, it's not necessarily saying go do something right now, but whatever item you buy has to change however you're playing.
Okay.
It means you have to be able to team fight now. It means you have to be able to kill people now. It means you have to be able to take Roche. You have to be able to split push survivably. You have to be able to... something. What does Ags do?
Decreases cooldown and increases damage.
Does that change the way you play the game?
Not really. I guess it just lets me take fights more often.
Okay, yes, but it doesn't change the way you play, is all I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
Right.
If you think about it at a more advanced level, you are almost unkillable against their heroes. Until what?
Until... I guess like Abyssal and PA.
Or-
I'm not sure. Silence? Oh, Hex.
Yeah. So, if you go like a mid-game aggression item now, like Orchid, who do you kill on their team?
A lot of them, I guess.
Pretty much all of them. And then, so if I go Orchid, then when do I have to? What do I have to itemize to survive in this game? What's the only thing that kills me?
Hex. PA.
Okay, so what do I buy?
Lincolns?
Okay, and then I can't just have my Lincolns be broke and die. So then I buy BKB, and then I have to hunt Tinker. I buy Shivas, and then
Okay.
you see, like all of these things change something. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can kill this guy now. Oh, this guy no longer kills me. Oh, I can team fight. Oh, I can hunt this guy in team fights. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? My point is this item doesn't do anything. Like in the Shadow Blade on SF, lets me kill people. BKB lets me team fight. And it's like, if you're having an understanding of why you're buying items, guess what that's going to do? It's going to help you play the game before and after you have that item. In this game, you are actually impervious when you are split pushing. What's your only limiting factor right now when you've been split pushing, or like when you've been trying to farm? Health and mana?
Yeah.
Shrines? Ferrying regen? Courier usage? That's all that matters here. You need to understand that your job in this game, look at these heroes, they can't fucking kill you. You literally need to be on map all times, showing up to fights after you've cleared a creep wave. Because what does a creep wave clear do? It means 30 seconds, like for the next 30 seconds, that lane has nothing happening in it. So that allows you to go to fights and not have to worry about farming. But then after the fight happens, guess what? That 30 seconds is up. Back to killing creeps. You see this? It's this mindset of sense of urgency. I know you haven't been playing Dota for too long, so I know these things. I'm not expecting you to be ridiculously good at them. I just want them to be your mindset, like going into the next 100 games. You will fly yourself the courier when you have items. You will give yourself regen when you need it. You will be full health, full mana when you are strong. You will use shrines when they are available and they're convenient for you. After you get a kill, you will think about what you're doing next. You will have a reason for all the items you buy. Will that thing you do always be correct? No, it won't. It's not just how it is. Even the things I do aren't correct. Okay, I've been playing Dota for like 7 years. It's not. I still make a lot of mistakes. Okay, the point is, at least nowadays, I've gotten to the point where everything I do has a specific reason, even if it ends up being wrong. Because that's the only way you learn. Is if you have a very specific reason for whatever you're doing. You have a sense of urgency for everything you're doing. You know why you're doing what you're doing at this point in the game. I'm just hitting creeps because I'm waiting for my BKB so I can go team fight them. I'm making sure I'm regened up by the time Ursa's alive because I want to push this tower and I want Ursa to be there. But I also need bottom lane to be pushed in first. So I'm going to regen up here, I'm going to push in bottom, and then when Ursa's alive, we go mid. And it's like, if Ursa's not going mid, I don't want to go there. So if Ursa's like some idiot, I'm not going to go mid. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So would you want to keep watching this game, or do you want to go to another one?
The only other one I have is when I lost the lane really hard.
Okay.
And it doesn't happen too often, but I guess we can look at that.
Yeah, sure. We'll talk real quick about when you're losing the lane.
Is under attack.
Okay.
I just want to point out, it's all because of your regen and your priorities in game. You have 50 CS at 17 minutes. This should be at least 100.
Okay.
I'm just telling you that it's showing in that. That's how it's showing.
Yep.
Like it's reflecting itself in your CS is what I'm saying. Okay. Let's check this out. Oof. Oof. The mental grind of coaching sessions. Okay, let's get it on. Looking for replay. Hurry up, Dota. Thank you.
Yeah. So this has been one of the worst lanes I've ever had in a while. We actually won the game in the end, but I think, like, until the late game, I had very little to do with that.
I got you. I've had this happen to me when I'm mid. At the highest level, generally, I'll like not understand a matchup very well. I'll misplay like really hard level 1 and 2, and then at that point, the guy's good enough. It's like a weehaw or something that he just shits on me, and all that does for you is it means you have no major impact on the game for a long time, like you kind of said. Let's see how you handle that, though. It is important. You know, you're not going to win your lane all the time, so let's see how you handle it. Obviously, unfortunate that you have no regen again. Fly it to yourself as soon as possible. Okay, this whole problem of getting no creeps the way wave 1 is... Yeah, you're just working on creep aggro, I can tell, but... You just need to get better at this CS under tower. You should literally... I don't know if there's a drill on it anywhere in Dota, but like you need to practice CS under tower without actually playing Dota. Meaning, like, don't be in an actual game and just CS under tower, because the last, like, 3 creeps weren't even contested.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say other than just get better at it. You know,
Sure.
there's no. You just need to practice the timings. You need to understand how much damage the tower does. The creeps have 350 or 550 health. So like, how does that tie into tower shots that do 100? Range creeps hit for 35, or sorry, 30 after armor, and melee creeps hit for about 18. So it's like, how does that tie into my understanding of this whole concept of CSing under tower? A lot of it's feels. My personal approach is I like to do the math to understand why things work the way they do, and then get the feel for it later. What's your problem here?
I have no health.
Okay, but why do you have no health?
Salve hasn't come in yet.
Okay.
And it's not in the courier. Actually, I didn't expect that to be such a...
It is a massive problem, and I'm telling you, like, you're literally fucking losing your lanes or like being really unimpactful because of this. It's your worst problem by far.
Okay.
It will change the entire game. Like, you'll just have more health and not die. You literally just won't fucking die there, and you might even kill them. You literally die because of courier usage.
Dire's top
It's a pretty common problem in 2 to 3K players. It actually is pretty common.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I respect the attempt. Guess what? If you don't die the first time, you win that fight because you would have been level 2 Scream and you would have killed him there. That's how laning works, right? So how it is. So now you're at this point where the lane's a fucking disaster.
Yeah, it's...
Why is your
I think
lane a
I-
disaster so we get on the same page here?
Are you talking about the courier thing?
Yeah. I don't care if you miss a couple CS. That's not costing you levels and deaths and stuff. Okay.
I think I even died another time here.
Yep. So what is double null good for?
Trading, I think.
It's for being a bully, having more damage, out CSing them.
Yeah.
Is this a lane where that's happening?
No.
Okay. Why are you going double null? You know? No cookie cutter shit in this stream.
Fair enough.
The other guy gave me the same read. I had like the guy that I had earlier. You probably weren't there for that. My first coaching session of the day. Absolutely shit stomping on Centaur. What item do you think was first? It's a really bad item. He's offlane Centaur. He's absolutely crushing the lane. What was his first item? Small. Like his first money spent was on this item, and it was absolutely garbage.
I have no idea, man.
What? Okay, so if you're stomping a lane, how often are you hitting creeps?
Fairly often, I guess.
Okay, so what item is absolutely dog shit if you're hitting creeps all the time?
I don't know. I guess like bottle or something.
Tranquil boots. He went first item Tranquils
shit,
when he
okay.
was crushing his lane. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You rushed it. That guy was 4.8k. Okay, so I was like, what are you doing? You just rush Tranquils when you're crushing the lane. You're hitting creeps 90% of this lane. Null, double nulls when you're winning. You should have a bottle and then like be using all of your health and mana to barely clear out the wave, get the fuck out, go hit some jungle creeps, maybe go gank somebody, you know?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm basically just accomplishing nothing here.
Yeah, you don't understand QOP in terms of how she comes back. Yeah, she comes back like this, and then she goes back to mid.
Dyer's is under attack.
She doesn't hit neutrals until she at least like level 3 or 4 scream.
Bottom tower is under attack.
For sure. So level 9 Tinker.
Is under attack.
Get out. Stop. Get out. Leave. Shrine. Hit creeps. You need to know you have no desire to be in lane against that guy. Buy a bottle. Kill the stack you made. Okay, kill that. Push it. Okay. Go kill the stack! What are you doing? Where are you going? You're in recovery mode. Okay. What does recovery mode mean? Right? I'm not strong enough to do anything right now. So I have to be strong enough to do something. You know? If I lose my lane, what is my obligation to my lane?
Protect the tower if I can.
Okay. And
Otherwise,
otherwise, just don't be there. Do you want to be there against Tinker?
No.
Stop being there against Tinker. Okay? That's how... I'd say another huge problem with 5k and below. Like 5k flat and below is people just returning to dog shit lanes. I don't know why they do it. Like, they're just masochists, I think. They're just like, oh, I love getting shit on. And I'm just going to keep going back. It's like one of those things where... you know your obligation to mid tower is, or mid lane is the tower. So if you're not going there, what are your two other options in this game? Okay, if you know that mid lane you only go there to defend the tower, doesn't that make your decision making way simpler?
I guess so.
Yeah, because if you go mid, your only consideration is, am I helping to defend the tower? Can I actually do it? Otherwise, what are your only other two options?
Just farm or gank. Or
Yeah.
I guess.
Jungle or gank. So then which one of those is more aggressive?
Yanking.
Ganking. So then you ask yourself, do I want to gank right now?
No.
No. So what do I do?
I'll just farm the jungle.
Farm some jungle creeps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, sometimes you don't have to just jungle. You can go to some other lane sometimes. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a lane that is good for you. Like maybe the enemy carries level 5 when you're having a rough time. That can happen. Follow him around. You know what I mean? Just avoid mid at all costs unless you have to go there. Okay. So you just have to know that, is it your job to defend mid if one of your supports is soaking XP in the mid lane?
Unless he's getting really heavily pressured, like...
Only if he absolutely needs you, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just let him do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Same thing when I'm a carry. Whenever I leave my lane and I see my support taking it, my decision, if I'm like safe lane Radiant, I'm deciding whether or not... What determines if I jungle here? So I leave my support to take the lane. What determines if I jungle here or here?
You mean as
a
Radiant?
carry player on Radiant. If I leave my support to take the lane, how do I determine if I jungle here or here?
How close the wave is to the tower, and I guess...
How about if I want to help my support or not? If I have any desire to help him, if he gets gone on or something.
You can just respond faster.
Yeah, I'm right here. That means I want to help him. If I'm right here, what does that mean? If there's a lane I want to go to, and if I'm right here farming, okay. Think about it this way. I'm just gonna blow people's mind. This is part of the video. I should record this. This is actually gonna be in a video at some point.
Sure.
If I'm jungling, what's my next move? Eventually going to be.
Respond to something happening.
I'm gonna go to some lane somewhere.
Yeah.
So where do I jungle?
Close to the lane that you think you'll have to go to.
Okay. So if I'm jungling here, where do I think I'm going next?
But
Okay, if I'm jungling here, where do you think I'm going next?
mid,
If I'm jungling here, where do you think I'm going next?
top or mid.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! You're so smart, dude. You're so smart. It's crazy, you know? That's how it works. Where do I jungle BSJ? Well, that's how you fucking do it, right? Like, so BSJ, what if I want to be top, but not yet? Okay, jungle my way there. Like, do this jungle, then this one, and then I'm top. You know what I mean? But it's like, literally, like, you're going to be doing something eventually. So if I want to maybe help my silencer, what game was it? It was, I don't remember what game it was. I had a game where I wanted to help my support, but I didn't actually want to be in lane. Oh, it was my last game on my Smurfus Terrorblade. I'm like, I'm nearby, but I don't want to be in lane. And so I jungled here. Like, I'm willing to help you if they go on you, but I don't want to be in lane because they'll go on me, is basically what I said. So I stayed here. A lot of times, when would this be correct if I'm carry? Why would I need to go mid? What is...
safe lane carry, you mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Really high understanding level here. I'm actually serious. Why would I have to go mid? Why would my next lane to go to be mid?
if the mid laner, if our mid laner is away, or
And he doesn't want to come back.
getting-
What if his is a hero that pushes their lane, right? Like, he's a tower pressuring hero, and he's elsewhere. Does he want to come back mid?
no,
No. So if I'm sitting here, and I say, hey, I'll take mid farm if I need to,
yeah,
then that frees up his game, right?
Mhm.
So that's why I would go here. So this is based on understanding of what hero in my team. The mid laner. It's not about understanding my own hero. This is about understanding my mid laner.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So if I'm a mid laner, you know, sometimes you farm here. Sometimes you farm here. If I'm farming here, where am I planning to go next? If I'm a mid laner.
back to lane, I guess.
Yeah, back to lane. If I'm farming here, where am I generally going next?
As a mid laner.
Yeah.
Either top or mid.
Yeah, or maybe bounty rune or something.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe I want the option, maybe I see them pressuring top and I think I can help, so I'll farm here instead of here.
Mm.
If I'm here as a mid laner, I am telling you 100% I don't intend to leave my lane. Right? I'm like a Storm Spirit or an Alchemist or a TA. Right? Don't all three of those heroes hit these two camps a lot?
Mhm.
Right? So if I'm an opponent, what's really important for me to do if I'm against those type of heroes if possible? Kill this tower so I can invade this area. Because I know that's where they want to play. Do you see this following of reasoning here? This is all recovery stuff. Okay, what are you missing? Do I need to re-explain something, or is it just?
It's just a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in. I understand that. That's fine. I know you're like newer to the game, and you're only 2.4K. So like I know I'm going way above here. But these are things to think about when you're recovering. Okay, when you leave your lane, you're only in any lane. If you're a safe laner, if you're an off laner, if you're a carry, or if you're a mid laner, your only obligation to that lane is the tower. So stop going back to the lane if you don't need to be there. You know what I mean? Like, only go there if absolutely necessary to defend the tower and drag some creeps off. And if you say, hey, BSJ, I'm going to walk to that tower and these three heroes will just kill me, then are you going to go defend the tower?
No.
No, right? Like, you're just not going to go. But as long as you know the only consideration for you to go back mid is to defend your own tower, what kind of defend your tower? What if it wasn't a Tinker? What if it was like a DK, okay, and you were concerned about your own tower? And you had a ward that sees DK shrining bottom. What could that mean for you?
As far as defending mid tower,
Yeah.
just push the creeps away.
Just kill the creeps as fast as possible, then don't come back, right? Then that buys you an extra 30 seconds that you don't have to come back. You know what I'm saying? But that was in regards to your understanding of defending your own tower. You literally did that so that you had an extra 30 seconds to not have to come back.
Right.
You see that? But it's all about your tower. When you're ahead in lane, what are you looking to do? It's the flip.
I'm ahead.
The flip of that.
I guess pressure their tower.
They pressure their tower, right?
Yeah. And
so then you're like, can I pressure their tower? What heroes are missing? Do they kill me? How far up can I play? So like when you were SF and you were saying, should I look to pressure their tower or should I look to just farm? You were against like DK, Lion, Sniper or something? Don't they just fucking kill you? Right?
Yeah.
Like if they DK stun you into a Lion, into one other hero, then you're just dead. So that's how you determine that you're not hitting the tower. Because you're not strong enough to hit the tower. Right? But if you're a QOP and you're ahead and they have these heroes, say you were ahead in this game, wouldn't you just be up at that tower relentlessly? They can't kill you.
None of them can kill me.
Right?
If I play.
So when you win your lane, how do I pressure my tower? And that's my only relevance to the lane. But if I'm not going to directly pressure it, can't I still just nuke the creep wave out and go do something else? Because that means 30 seconds from now, I can go back and pressure it again. But for the next 30 seconds, I can do whatever I want. I can go gank. I can go hit a neutral creep. I can, all that kind of stuff. So I'm portraying it to you because I felt like you were questioning whether or not you should have pressured on SF. If you're saying, and then that last QOP game where you won your lane against Tinker, and you're like asking about pressuring the tower, and I mentioned like, why aren't you walking up to that creep wave? What do they do about it? I think the biggest problem in that game was you had like half health, half mana the entire game. So how do you actually effectively pressure that tower if you're half health, half mana the entire time? You have to be topped off to be pressuring that tower. So that means you're shrining more often. That means you're flying yourself a salve, whatever that means, I just think it's your main problem, is your courier usage with your sense of urgency to be full health, so it's actually preventing you from making plays you should make, and then this stuff. And then the best advice I got is this is a ton to process, so listen to this little spiel, like, a couple times, like, while you're thinking about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Definitely the best thing you can do, because this decision-making is honestly, for you to start thinking about it, is not above your skill level. Because you have a lot of answers. Like, you're meaning, like, you're honestly clearly smarter than, like, the average 2K player that comes into the coaching sessions. No offense to past 2K players that have come in for coaching sessions. I'm saying that the stuff may be foreign to you because you've never had to think about it, never known to think about it. But it is within your skill range to start thinking about it. Okay, so that's where we're trying to get to. Do you have any final questions before we wrap this up?
Sorry, just let me think. So
yeah, no problem, dude.
I guess just to summarize the whole or not to summarize, but the thing you mentioned about like me having the sense of urgency to be full health and mana, like I guess that's probably the reason why I feel like I don't have as much like impact when I'm trying to transition into mid game.
It is. No, that is your impact reason, yes.
I'm either not ready to make plays, or like if something happens, I'm more likely to die, or like whatever happens.
And I want you to know when you're ahead, first and foremost, what it means to be ahead is killing creep waves. Like, creep waves are being shoved into the opponent towers is like the highest indication that you're winning. Mm-hmm. So what I mean by that is before you make ganks, before you make TPs away, like when you took that bottom tower as SF, for love of God, nuke the wave bottom and then leave. You know what I mean?
Right.
Kill the creep wave, then leave. If you're going to rotate as a mid laner who's winning, kill the creeps, shove it into their tower, and then leave. It's so powerful because if you do it in the mid lane especially, if the lane's pushed into their tower, what are you doing? And if you push in the lane to their tower and you're not there, from their perspective, what are you doing? Like, what are you trying to accomplish right now?
Could be anything, I guess.
You could be doing pretty much anything. You could be jungling, you could be regenning, you could be ganking. You could be anywhere. They don't know. And that's the power of it, right? Because the lane's shoved into their tower. Mm-hmm. For me, if I kill a creep wave and all the enemies missing and all the lanes are at their towers, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to know they're missing creeps, right?
Smoking or something.
Yeah, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to like sit in some trees or something,
Yeah.
And during the meantime, you may say, BSJ, you're not getting anything done. You're sitting in trees. I'm like, well, all their creeps are dying under tower. Like, they're just losing.
And they're spending their time doing something.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So the most powerful thing you can do in the game is shoving creep waves out and being full health, full mana. Like, that actually is your biggest problem. It is a huge problem. And so it's causing you to have probably half of your CS that you should have because you're prioritizing other things throughout the game other than shoving the wave. So when it comes to shoving the wave, it'll help you to start if you play heroes that are very survivable. So then all you have to think about is which waves you should be shoving. The next step after that is playing heroes that are squishier so that you then not only have to think about what waves you should be pushing, but also when you're survivable enough to actually do it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So like heroes like Storm and QOP and Ember will be much easier to push lanes properly on than like an SF or an Alchemist or something. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Can't think of anything else.
Cool. Thanks for signing up, man. Best of luck.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, have a good night, dude.
Right. You too.
Or day.
Yeah, it is day here. True.
Yep. See you later, Aussie.
Sure.